Welcome, Laurence Fox. That's the eponymous title track in A Grief Observed. And you might have mentioned earlier, you may even have noticed, I used to see you from my local pub when I was drinking in the Steels, turning up with your guitar case to a flat, presumably to go off and rehearse and stuff like that. And I often wondered what it was going to be like. And my word, good on you.
Not in the Steels getting langered.
No, that's where I was. That was me. It was the office. Who inspired you? What do you listen to?
I listen to, at the moment I'm listening to Ghosteen. I can't get over it.
Nick Cave's new album.
Yeah,
it's astonishing.
Killing that album. It's awful, isn't it, when you just listen and listen and listen. But mainly I quite like things like Springsteen and Ryan Adams and...
I wonder, because there's that sort of slight alt-Americana going on there as well. Your voice is
in cracking Nick from very careful maintenance. Yeah.
So the album's called A Grief Observed. It's your second album, the first album being Holding Patterns in 2016. Of course, millions know you for your top TV roles in Lewis, Victoria, The Frankenstein Chronicles, and I've seen you on stage, and you've done many films. How do you fit it all in?
Yeah, it's getting tricky now. It's getting hard to fit.
Is this the passion? Is this the real passion?
I don't really feel like I get a choice. Do you know what I mean? I end up, this is what I do, so I just do what I do, and I try and fit it all into the day, with difficulty.
Now, this album is based on your sometimes I think painful experiences over the last couple of years. Have you been able to? Do you find that sort of artistically useful to go through anguish, as it were?
I think it probably is, isn't it? My producer, Jonathan, was saying to me that he was producing a band recently, and the lead singer got into a relationship with a girl, and the music just went...
He was happy and it was awful.
And they spent all this time in the studio trying to really freak him out and get him to break up, and I was like, come on, man. So I think it probably does help a bit, but not so much in the writing, but more in the releasing. I feel a bit like, thank you, it's done, because I wasn't going to release it, and then I sent it to my friend Paul.
Why wouldn't you?
Well, I just felt it was a bit personal, and then I thought maybe it's said, but I send it to my friend Paul, who I send all big decisions to, and he goes, Larry, it's all right, mate. And I was like, okay. He goes, good, release it. And I'm like, okay. Thank you, boss. I'll call you at my next life crossroads.
How serious are you? Are you going to go and tour it?
Yeah, we're going to tour in February.
You have a band with you?
Well, you know what? I'm going to try and go very minimal with my band. I took a band out last time I toured, and it was great fun, but it was also mad. And I don't think I need it. You know, it's just me howling along to a guitar, talking about things in a vaguely poetic way, you know, if I can. So I might go small, lo-fi.
It's fascinating. We were talking about it before you came in. Particularly in Hollywood, I think, more than over in the UK, the number of actors who actually managed to hold both careers. Johnny Depp was a rock and roller before he became an actor, I think.
Keanu Reeves.
So yes, and another one. I think we're slightly more prejudiced, aren't we? We want to keep people in boxes.
Just a bit English, aren't we? So,
why don't you do Lewis anymore? That's basically it, isn't it? When are you going to do Lewis again?
If I could muster a sort of Twitter mobbing of ITV to get them to redo Lewis, I'd be like, I've got kids, man. I'll happily do it.
Okay.
But as it turns out, you know, you end up doing other stuff, and that seems to go well as well. So I'm very lucky. I feel good.
Kevin mentioned to me just as you came in about insomnia, which I was very interested about, because I am just coming out of an 18-month period of insomnia. And
how bad was it?
Well, down to the worst.
Wake up.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. So I would go to sleep as always.
Got a cure for that.
Okay.
Apple.
Okay.
Put an apple by your bed. When you wake up, take a couple of bites of the apple. You'll be back asleep in no time.
Blimey.
That's it. I worked that one out. It started off with Mars bars. I was like, have a Mars bar. But then I realised it was probably just the beer level going,
yeah.
And I was like, love it. But apple work's a treat for me. I'm better actually now. I haven't had insomnia for a long time. Maybe at least a week.
That's great. From the other side. Brilliant.
I'm about the same. I think it'll be a week on Saturday.
Peace, brother.
It's the strangest and strangest thing. And the quote
you said, I was reading a quote from you, I think you told one of the papers a couple of years ago, that even with sleeping pills,
they didn't touch the sun with me.
Hilarious with sleeping pills, though, because you bosh a couple of sleeping pills and then you're walking around and you're like, whoa, I'm not actually awake. And then I found one of the problems, which I hate to admit on air, was I also, often was like, this looks like the loo.
Oh, yeah.
That's your television, Laurence. Okay. Perhaps I should stop on the sleeping pills.
Do you find, I mean, the weirdest thing about it is I couldn't quite believe that I felt as normal, in inverted commas, as I thought. I mean, I know at times I was getting quite wobbly, but I still felt, doing all right for someone having 2 hours a night.
It's insane, isn't it? Because actually what's really happening is you're living in a totally different reality, like the Matrix, and everyone else's day is going on normally, and you're like going, I'm fine, I'm totally operating this brilliantly. I might go to the zoo later and then an estate agent. What the hell? It's mayhem.
Going back to music, what was the first single you bought? You are of an age of
Sealed
buying
with a
singles.
Kiss.
Okay. Yeah.
Jason Donovan, I believe. I think I made my sister buy it.
Okay.
Our price on...
You're very brave.
Sealed with a Kiss last year, was that?
that was just this morning.
First album?
Rough trade. First album may well have been The Travelling Wilburys. You never know, actually. I can't
That's a good
remember.
album.
No, it might have been Michael Jackson. It would have been either
Do you
good or
feel,
bad.
because it's a fascinating conflict there, isn't there, depending on where one stands in the argument as to whether, we played some Michael Jackson last weekend, the wife and I, and we had just that discussion about, she still goes, he was never convicted of anything, and I say, but he did hand $28 million to a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah. It's hard, there's two sides to the story, isn't there? My side of the story is I like the music, so,
And that's that.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Sorry.
So, okay. And so we've got a track coming up. So we played A Grief Reserved, the title track. The single coming up 22nd of November is The Distance. What can you tell us about that?
The Distance is a song I wrote after I was sat in what they used to call trailers in show business, but now have turned into small, cattle enclosures, so I call them hutches. They were sort of lined up and you're like, don't leave until we come and tell you that you're needed to act. And, everyone starts bantering, and they were talking about what was going on in that American politics, Kavanaugh and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And the girls were going very strongly down the line of we got to believe her and he must go to jail. And I was going strongly down the line of, but there's courts and stuff and you prove it and then it's better. And it was this big conflict. So I then got annoyed about it and wrote a song about, having the wrong opinions, of which is saying, we're trying to silence you if you don't have the right opinion. It's just a bit of a protest song.
And it's right on the zeitgeist as well.
Yeah.
These are peculiar times. Do you find them as peculiar as the rest of us in the room?
I really, really do. And I'm most concerned about how much I self-censor now.
Me too.
That's the bit that bothers me.
Yeah.
Areas you don't dare go to.
I start thinking, I was just, someone I really admire just tweeted this incredibly, what I found really triggering. I was very triggered about, vote like your skin isn't white.
Oh, this is the Jewish Chronicle front page.
No, the Jewish Chronicle front page made a bit of sense, actually. This made no sense to me. Vote like your skin isn't white, that your child is transgender, that your sister
I've just seen it in mine. I've got it.
And I'm just like, or just read the manifesto and vote for the person you like and stop virtue signalling, you boring people.
Oh, man.
I'm not into it. Stop.
Where's it come from? Is it social media?
It's death of God, isn't it? It's the end of God. So now you've got to make yourself God. And then you've got 6 million people all thinking they're God. And if you don't believe, it's compassion, but compassion needs an outside source. You can't just go, I'm the most compassionate. No, you're the most compassionate. And how do you stop being uber compassionate? And then when someone else doesn't agree with you, does your compassion permit you to be horrific to them?
Where's the end game?
I think it's coming to an end. I think, as Rod Little said, we're reaching peak. Beep. It's coming to an end. I don't think people can put up with it. I mean, my kids come home with it. My dad said, what did you learn at school today, Eugene? And Eugene went, no, first of all, he said, what's your favourite subject? And Eugene went, social justice. And my dad went, my dad then suddenly forgot that he was a 7-year-old child. And he went, justice is not a word that needs a modifier, Eugene.
Wise word.
So, yeah, I mean, I slap them down a bit with it as well, you know.
But I'm right with you,
Yeah.
but I can't work out. And I think I'm fed up of it. Everyone I know is sick of it.
Yeah.
I self-censor in ways that freak me out.
It's bad that we do it.
You seem, if I'm reading this right, see a sort of benign end game that we're going to come through this and
they'll eat
fight.
themselves. It'll eat itself, because if you start applying all these rules to people, then, you know, once you get your problems like Justin Trudeau accidentally doing his thing, it'll start eating itself. And normal people, you know, your average punter on the street has other problems than wokishness. There's housing crisis. There's lots of things to be worried about. Wokishness is getting slightly kicked down the corridor, I think. I mean, if it's not, I'll kick it down the corridor.
Fair play to you. Is your Death of God line?
It is, sadly.
It
Nietzsche
creates a
said it.
vacuum. He did indeed, which is also rather worrying in these difficult times.
Well, he was right, but he said last century, so he said 100 million dead once we've killed God. Now we've already got the 100 million dead. Let's hope we can all have a chat. More fun.
As a musician, do you know the Butthole Surfers?
No.
Well, there's a song called 100 Million Dead, and I think you'll rather enjoy it.
Oh, lovely.
Have fun on me. Jenny, you won't.
Yeah.
You really won't.
Yes, I know the Butthole Surfers.
Do you? They're fantastic. They're really, really out there. Laurence Fox, you didn't disappoint in any shape or form. I wish I'd come over from the pub to say hello many years ago.